Why, hello, my name is Dava, and welcome back to City Skylines 2. And today we are back in the city of Davesport with something, well, we're continuing what happened last time. Before, in the past episode, we built an entirely new train line and elevated metro. Today, we're going to prepare ourselves a little yard, but not just any yard, more of a maintenance facility. And we have two inspirations that we want to take part of, and I actually can't wait to show you. This might be a little bit more of a more detailed project, if anything, than a infrastructure. So, with that being said, let's begin with a little recap. We've done a lot, I should say, so this will be quite a hefty recap. You can skip ahead if you want to, but again, let's begin. So we are back in City Skylines 2, and if you're a veteran, you can see at first glance, nothing really has changed. Everything that I've done has taken place underground. We've rerouted our entire metro, for a little recap here. Rerouted our entire metro, placed two new stations underground here, so one up here by the Notre Dame, and over here by downtown, which is probably the most used station out of my entire metro system. Now the trains will actually have, a better feeling when going under here. They go under roads, they curve underneath buildings, and they kind of go in their own path. We've also rerouted the main line up here to go straight through onto the other side of the tracks instead of passing behind the hospital, which was a better option. There are some little pieces that I should remove here that used to be here. This is what the train used to pass, same with this road here. But this train kind of picks up its slack now. That's going to be placed here. The new elevated metro. Oh, also, before I forget, I've placed half of our express train to be placed on top or elevated. So they do pass up here. Only one train. There's only one track. It's just both direction. The other half is further underground, like very deep underground, while the other two tracks are passing beneath that one as well. But today, we have a little project that we have to commit here. And it's just this portion over here that I said build. I have some places that just say, redecorate, build. Some of these things I say for stream, some of them I don't, like redecorate this rail or redecorate this front of the metro here, remove all of these little stairs here. Let me know if you want to see that on stream or if you want to see that as a YouTube video, because this would just be more of a detailing practice. But what we're going to do here is detail this, not yard. I will not make this into a yard. We're going to use a series of custom assets to make this into a maintenance facility. And with this inspiration, we're going to take a look at two places. Whenever things come to Metro, I tend to always look at the two big cities, Chicago and New York City. And today we're going to go to both of those cities, but for starters, let's go to Chicago. This is Cottage Grove Station, right by the last stop on the Green Line, or second to last stop. We are going to go a little further back and just see how Chicago has their own little yard for construction or just regular work trains and things like that. However, going further down south, we see that another branch comes out. Now, we want to do something more like this, a little maintenance facility where trains can be imported from even the freight rails to come onto over here as well. So you see little rails being handled, or not handled, but really delivered to each of these portions here. They don't connect, but they really can. They have little portions of track that used to look like they connected and went back, and that can be transported back into the Chicago Metro from the freight line itself. We want to try to do something kind of like that. Just have a series of buildings, like maintenance buildings, just be placed around little dirt patches, little steel rails, and all these things like that. And the reason I'm doing that is because we have a spot that's right next to our maintenance yard or a rail haul that the freight line could take advantage of. Let's go to our second spot. This is Linden Yard. We're located right next to Linden Boulevard on the L line here, or our little Sea Beach branch, our freight line. The freight line passes alongside the right coast. However, it does connect. The freight or the work trains can connect to the freight line, but they also do go back to connect as well. We go further up the line to New York City's Metro. See, here you have New York City's Metro track right here. This is that line that was used to pass through here. So you can see all the little storage tracks, all the little rails passing here. And right here, you can see it connect to two New York City Metros, the L and the 3 on the upper level. And with that being said, we really want to take advantage of just these things in our city because we don't really have any kind of, freight to metro combination. And we probably won't have that in this game, but we could have something that kind of feels like it, if that makes sense. So have little work trains placed around little maintenance facilities, except this one's not really little, this one's quite big. And I just had a really nice idea of what to do with this. And again, we're gonna follow the same design instinct. Not design, but same detailing instinct, like very dusty, not too dirty, but a little bit dirty, and not well maintained, but they kind of are at the same time because they're in the maintenance facility themselves. You can see how the tracks don't really have any ties until the switch happens here, where the switch has to be cleared, so there can't be anything in the way. Yeah, things like that. Not sure how we're going to do something like this, but we can try for something. We have little decals we can use. So, with that being said, let's get back into it. So again, right here is our build. We're going to place it over here. We're not really going to have that many, you know, trains come out of here. We're probably going to reduce this to 2, maybe even 1, and then have the main train line be built further on. However, that might prove to be a little bit difficult for maybe for like a temporary thing. I mentioned this before because the line passes up through here, and what if we had a train line come down to here and connect to this track? That way the trains can actually feed into something at least in the meantime until I get the freight yard or the rail yard built for the green line, the elevated line. But that'll be for future use. But again, we have a freight line here that we can use. Also, I forgot to mention we did decorate this just a little bit. So we put a bunch of little rocks on both directions. These are one-directional tracks. We can do little things like railroad crossings and space them out kind of widely and just use move it and pull them out whenever you can. But yes, this freight line is going to be the main line that not only goes to this abandoned yard over here, but also is going to the industry port that we're going to have further on. So it's going to pass all through here and pass in between all these little tree areas over here, and all the houses are being placed between. So this is going to be our main divider, basically. And I think it's going to be a really fun addition just to have a little piece of the train kind of branch off here and just kind of feed this area, like feed little rails, like steel rails, to give onto the train as well. And we're also going to use another asset, or another, not asset, well, a few assets, but a mod. The same mod that we used to place the building over the highway that didn't work the first time, but it does now, like this office building. We're going to use that mod to place empty little maintenance buildings. So we have the subway rail hall, or the maintenance hall. Oopsies, wrong button. The subway maintenance hall, the tram depot, and the service or the maintenance depot for cars. We'll also place one manually too. But also, I kind of want to take advantage of placing a little, you know, man-made station here. That way the workers can actually, you know, be delivered onto the station rather than just having a, you know, blank station here. Just to give it that feeling. But we're going to do something along the lines of placing a bunch of little rail halls here and there and decorate this with a bunch of, you know, dirt decals, some smudge, a whole bunch of stuff. So with that being said, let's begin. And we are back with what we have so far. We've placed all of our track work down. This is mostly what I wanted to get started with, just to get everything ready. For over here, I'm saving this area. It won't be last. It might be the next thing I do, to be honest. I want to get this train line to scale upwards onto these tracks here. The plan is to form this track into a station, and then make this track run between it, and then merge with these two tracks between here. I also want to try using these. I actually never knew that these were a thing until I opened this op static building option and go to transportation. You can get these little station thingies up here, and I'm hoping I can make them fit it. I hope, but there's no guarantee since the stations you place are very wide. I don't think they'll fit, but it's worth a try. It's worth a look. You can get a, you know, something working. But yeah, this will sink down. Everything kind of scales up. We did put the train merge through here. This will keep coming back up as soon as I move something, so I'm gonna wait until, you know, the last moment to erase this. Right now, I want to make it look like the freight merge with the metro. So that way, it gives that same feeling of, you know, interchangeability between the two systems. Even though they can't, but this would be the only way that they technically can to reach this line, which also makes me now kind of want to make it look like it connects to here. Just for that look, you know, not the look, but uniqueness. Like comparing it, let's go back to the image. So similar to the Linden Yard in Brooklyn, how the metro, too far, how the freight combines with the IRT, the 3, and the BMT, the L over here. This would be, it's just something so unique that you don't see too often. I mean, you do see in Chicago, but not really. They don't really connect. But they can, but they just don't. But here they do. The same can be said, there's another yard that does this as well. It is the 39th Street or 9th Avenue yard. Let's take a look at it actually while we're here. This yard doesn't connect to freight per se. This yard is more meant for, you know, maintenance movements rather than a train yard. So all these trains that you see in here are mostly work trains located on this platform here. So again, same kind of scenario taking place here, but different movement. As well as, lastly, for next, I want to merge the train to go through here. And also decorate the surfaces on the bottom as well, just to give it more, you know, more of that dirt feel, but not too dirty at the same time. Like, at least pavement. I don't want to use too much, you know, asphalt or anything like that. Something more solid. So let's begin. Let's continue what we were doing here before. So let's stop here for a moment. After building up this little area here, I shifted over the track to go more on the right side instead of the middle, because the middle portion was a little bit tight, especially around the area up here to get the train to merge within here. But also, the land between here was a little bit tough to work with, so I just took away all the roads and just changed everything to pass between through here instead. Now, in terms of decoration, I said this before many times. You know, many people detail differently. I detailed underneath this segment over here, and I'll always say it again. I'm not a detailer, but I'll do what I can in terms of, you know, placing things down. And the trains are spawning from here, which is really nice. And I just love this portion. I just gotta find more assets to place around here as well, and we'll continue this too. I placed a little park building over here so I can place in a little depot, this little storage over here. And we're just gonna continue this area just to see how it looks. But as of right now, I enjoy how it's turning out. I will later on put some more freight trains pass up through here. But yeah, I think I do enjoy doing this portion more than I thought I would. I'm gonna say this seems really long. But yeah, this is coming out real nice. I wish I could slow down the speed limit of these trains though, because they are going pretty fast. Very fast. But it works as I intend. So not too many. That is pretty deep though, but that's not too bad of a transfer here. The station is set in place now. I will have to customly make this so we can show you again how to make a little custom station in the process, especially one that's inside of the wall here. I always like to do these ones because they're just more clean, and we did get to fix up these little roof tiles just to get it to work. So we're not going to use these anymore. We're going to stick with these and then decorate the entire station afterwards too. So let's continue by placing down more grass, more trees, more decals, more smudge, and then the station will be built, and then that will be it for the video. But yes, let's continue this time lapse here. And here we have our finished result on this build. And I personally really do like this spot now. The maintenance facility just being placed, the access to the train from the freight yard, or freight train, I should say, from one side, the metro from the other. And it does work. Trains can pass through here. Well, the freight can't, however. So we just put little props for the freights just to, you know, sit down, little railroad crossings, little detail. Little trains in the side over here too, sometimes carrying some steel, a lot of little beams across, carrying gantries or carrying cables. And the likes of it. So yeah, I really do like how this one turned out. We have the station built as well, the little door on the side to access. There's an invisible path inside of the station as well, so people can access it when the time comes. But yes, I personally like how this one came out. It's not, again, it's not a yard. It's just a little facility. You see how this train kind of goes into the station here. Let's take a look. That's kind of fast, but it should be fine. But yeah, I think that this is going to be the finished result now. The ground is all textured and everything. The train actually doesn't fit. Oh yeah, I never made a station. Almost forgot that actually. Let's make this a little fully functioning station here. I'm placing a little pillar here, or a little node here. And then actually dragging the train's node itself to be up here. And now we have a functioning station. But yes, this will be the official end of the video. Thank you guys for joining me. For the next time, not sure what we're gonna do. I'll take some hints on what to do for the next video. I usually just kind of think of these and build as I go for what I want to do next. And this one was for today. Because it was very, I couldn't stand looking at this I couldn't stand looking at this portion. It was much of an eyesore, but I just had to rebuild it. But again, thank you guys for joining me. I will see you guys next time on the next time I post. I'll be live again playing City Skylines. I've been having some trouble playing City Skylines on stream just because it does lag a bit, and sometimes it does crash my computer. I'm not sure why. Never done it before, but I will try to continue to stream to YouTube when possible. But thank you guys for joining me. I am live on twitch.tv/Davesport787. And thank you guys for subscribing, for joining. I will see you again.